All right, Brad Finkelite, career coach here, and I help people do really great interviews and feel confident about themselves so that they can show up naturally confident. And I just posted a video, or I posted a question, not a video. I posted a question last week on a LinkedIn group asking, what's your biggest struggle in interviews? And I really like helping people feel confident about themselves. And the responses I got from a lot of people is the question, so tell me about yourself. And a lot of people responded that they just don't know how, they don't feel confident inside of that, But some of these people are really, really accomplished people. They just lock up inside of fear or an anxiety, or they don't think they're good enough, and all of those go back to beliefs about ourselves that are internal. And it's also a human mechanism to think to the negative, just because we're wired for survival and we got to think of all the dangers out in the world and all of that stuff. So one, just know that. Know that your brain is wired to think that way, and there's nothing wrong with you. And one of the tricks to help, I don't want to say overcome, but just manage it, is to write out all of your accomplishments, a day or a couple hours before the interview, and really sit with that and I helped do all of those things, and be okay with that. You contributed to all of those successes in your career in one form or another. That will, one, help give you the confidence inside of the story, but also help give you the confidence in telling your story too, because it'll be fresher in your mind before you walk in. So one of the strategies that once you actually start talking and telling about yourself is, to go over your resume and go over your career, right? Well, you can tell that in many different ways, right? You can tell it in a boring way and just kind of go chronological and not a lot of detail. Or you could tell it in a way that adds some detail and some story to it. So one of the things that I like to remind people of is that people love stories. That's why the movie industry is so huge. That's why, the books are so huge. People are wired to hear and listen and watch stories out in the world. So if you can add in stories to each of your accomplishments or each parts of your career, each title or each company that you've been in, and add in just a little bit of spice to it, and I like the details of the spice, it makes for such an engaging conversation that you're more likely to be remembered than other candidates who just go over their resume and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done that. And that's kind of boring. And recruiters hear it all day long. So your focus should be on telling great stories about your career, add in some details, and add in some of those details that are fun too, or even humbling, So maybe stories of we pulled an all-nighter and we had to order the pizza for the whole team, and Bob ended up getting sick from eating too much because he just doesn't know how to handle himself. So those are the kind of details you want to be able to add in, because it breaks up just the monotony for a recruiter and for a hiring manager, and you show up more human-like, and you show up more as someone that they would want to work with. So that should be your goal as far as tell me about yourself. Create an engaging conversation. Use stories inside of it. And before you go into the interview, write out all of your accomplishments. One, to boost your confidence, and two, so you have all of those details fresh in your mind. So I hope this helps. If you need any help, please feel to reach out. I love helping people feel confident about themselves and just walk in interviews, being able to nail it and walk out feeling great. Talk to you later. Bye.